Hello there, and welcome to this episode. Over the last 4 episodes, we've been talking about a series dubbed "Are You a Christian Leader?" And we talked about the first one where we talked about a Christian leader is a Christian first, and we qualified that. You can check out episode 1. We talked about a Christian leader. A Christian leader is a committed Christ follower. In episode 2. Episode 3, we talked about a Christian leader source of truth is divine revelation, and we qualified it further. Episode 4, we talked about a Christian leader emphasizes godly character. And today, in episode 5, we are talking about a Christian leader understands the importance of motive. And remember, in episode 4, we talked about character. And character, we talked about it as the actions, the behavior of the leader. And this episode, we are talking about the motive, which then is emphasizes on the why the behavior. Why does the leader behave the way they behave? Why do they act the way they act? And just to emphasize that it's the motives of a Christian leader that drives the character. So if your motive is wrong, definitely it will affect your character. If your motive is rotten, then your character will be rotten. If your motive is right, then your character will be right. So I just want us to look at a verse that then helps us to really understand what does the Bible talks about the aspect of motive. What is the motive that a Christian leader needs to have? And this can be found in 1 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 2 to 9. And I will not read the verse, but I just want to pinpoint the 4 key areas that are coming out strongly there that defines the aspect of why a Christian leader needs to understand the importance of motive. And the first motive that Paul gives us there is a Christian leader must be able to spread the gospel. And this is not about preaching alone and so on, but in your discussions, in your the people that you engage, are you sharing God's word? Are you sharing God's heart? It's not about being on the pulpit, but it's about making it a lifestyle. That are you spreading God's word in your discussions, in your engagement? Are you praying with people? Are you helping people to understand who God is? If you're not, as a Christian leader, then there's a problem. The second motive is pleasing God. The Bible talks about many situations where we need to please God as a Christian, and the things that we need to be able to do from our actions, from our engagement, that then we'll be able to please God. And we looked at some of the things that we should not in the last episode, from the things that God does not want us to do, that do not please Him. So, as a Christian leader, are you pleasing God? Number 3 is to tell people what they need to hear and not what they want to hear. And this is the issue with many of our churches also, because they tell the preaching is about what the people want to hear and not what they need to hear. And this is what then is actually then creating chaos, because there's a gospel of prosperities and different areas. And I'm not saying it's wrong, but I think it's more on telling people what they want to hear as compared to what they need to hear. So even in your office, in your engagement, are you telling people what they need to hear or what they want to hear? And the last one is a Christian leader must serve God and not personal gains. And many a times that we are given purpose in life, but then we end up converting those purpose into our own benefit. So we end up now doing things that are more for personal gains than for helping others, without without understanding that our purpose is not for our personal gain, but our purpose is actually for the world out there. And that's why many people then end up getting confused whether that is really their purpose, because they've turned it around into their personal gains. So these are the 4 things that then help us to understand how we need to position our motives as Christian leaders. So the key question that you need to ask yourself is, what is your motive as a Christian leader? What is driving your character? And hopefully, these are the 4 things that will be able to drive your motives and really define your character. So I hope I've added value to you in this dimension. My name is Coach Gilbert, and see you in the next episode. We'll be talking about another dimension of a Christian leader. Thank you very much.